Now, just to take you through Nairobi. Nairobi is a capital city of Kenya, and since it's the capital city of Kenya, there's so many vehicles within the capital city. Lately, they've been doing expansion on the roads, and we find that it's still not enough. So whenever you're in Nairobi, we call Nairobi town, when you're in Nairobi, we call it the central business district of Nairobi. You'll find yourself, when you travel into the city in the morning, as from very early in the morning, because people report to work on a weekday, people report to work from 8 a.m. and they leave offices as from 4:30, 5, 6, that's when people go home. So if you find yourself working in the CBD, or you find yourself in Nairobi, whenever you'll be going to the CBD in the morning or towards the CBD, you'll find traffic. And there's a lot of traffic in Nairobi, especially in the morning when you go into the CBD, because most people, they work in the central business district. They work in the central business district, and most times you'll find traffic again when you're leaving the CBD in the evening after people have left work. Because so many people work in Nairobi, they work in the CBD, and they work and they travel home in the evening. That's why you find yourself, if you get yourself in Nairobi, you'll find yourself experiencing traffic jam within some period of time, and after some time there's no traffic on the roads. So today I'm just taking you through the what to experience when you're in when you get yourself in the traffic of Nairobi. Mostly when you're driving, you'll find yourself not doing even more than 10 kilometers per hour. It's usually under 10 kilometers per hour. So, and what to see along the road when you're held up in traffic, most times you find hawkers, they tend to sell their products. They tend to sell their products when there's traffic jam. Most people who hawk, you mostly find them in traffic jams, because the people would wish to buy some things. They had a hectic day at the office and they can't go to the market, so along the way as they head home, they'd meet people who sell fruits, who sell water. They sell different items. Now hawkers are people who sell very light things that can just be held by hands. So mostly when you're on traffic in Nairobi, you'll tend to find that. But now, as you can see, the road is packed, so many people are heading home, and we are experiencing the traffic in Nairobi. And now I'm heading to the west side of Nairobi. Nairobi is a big city. It has the eastern part, northern part, southern part, the western part. This one I'm heading to the western part of the town, western part of the city. It's the western part of the city. So this is what we experience. So western part, there's an estate called Westlands. It's almost being overtaken by the CBD. Actually, there are people who would consider Westlands just to be a CBD. So so that's what's happening. So as you can see, people are going home, and people are also people who use public means. They're by the side of the road waiting for buses to come and pick them and take them home. Yeah, so basically this is what to experience when you're in Nairobi, in the traffic jam in the evenings. Maybe one day if I get time I can show you how it is like in the morning, but for now it is in the evening. We call it rush hours because people are rushing going back home, and morning we also have rush hours because people rush going to work in the morning. So mostly traffic in Nairobi, you'd find it during the rush hours. So enjoy a drive in the city in the evenings as we try and beat the traffic. Oh, and to speak about that, when you're in Nairobi, if you want to go somewhere, because there are so many cars, and there's still not enough roads to accommodate the so many cars, you must usually time yourself, especially when you're leaving and going for appointments. Just know, if you're going for appointments, you should usually leave very early. Prepare yourself and leave very early, like 2 hours before the appointments, if at all you have appointments, because you'll get late. It's so unpredictable to get traffic and experience traffic. And again, one thing you have to note whenever you're driving in the city, we have the public means of transport, and here we call them matatu. Whenever you're driving in the city, you must really be careful with the matatu. Here we normally say they're reckless drivers, but again, they say if you meet some of them, the drivers, the people who drive matatus, they say people who drive their personal cars, they're slow because they don't have means to rush, but for them they're rushing so that they do so many trips. So whenever they do so many trips, that's when they get a lot of money. Yeah, like, oh, as I was saying, the hawkers along the road, when you're in Nairobi, like this, some of them, some are selling peanuts. Should I call it peanuts or groundnuts? Depends on where you are from. You can call it peanuts, groundnuts. Yeah. Hell, I missed it. I was telling you, I was talking about the public means of transport. So the guys, so many trips they do, that's the more money they get. So whenever you're on the road, they'll tend to keep overtaking each and every person. So whenever you're driving in Nairobi City, you should usually be very careful with them. Because according to my opinion, they drive recklessly. That's my opinion, and my opinion I'll just reserve for myself, and maybe someone would think otherwise. For me, I think the people who drive the PSV means the public service vehicles or vans, they tend to be very careless on the road and reckless, because they would normally want to do so many trips so that they get a lot of money. Yeah, so that's something you should also note when you're on the road, whenever you're in Nairobi. So these are the scenes in the traffic jam in Nairobi. So like right now where I am, it's called the Westlands roundabout. It's on the west side of the city. Yes, it's in the evenings and people are rushing to work, from work. Yes. And as you can see over here, there's some order. At least there's the traffic lights to indicate when you should move and don't move. And at times when you're in Nairobi, some roads, they don't have the traffic lights. So whenever you're driving, you just guess on what time to move. If the road is clear, you just move. But there are some places which have traffic lights, so you have to wait for them to open up. And on the traffic, on the roads, we also have the traffic police who do control the situation on traffic. So those are some of the things you'd find in Nairobi. But Nairobi is generally a beautiful city, and you can visit, enjoy. It's a beautiful city, I would say. It's such a beautiful city. Someone you would ever wish to visit and to live in. But everyone is usually on toes. People are usually on toes in Nairobi. But it's a good city. It's a good city to be in. And I'd forgotten to mention public transport We won't also lack. We have riders. I don't know how you call it in your country. Riders are people who have motorbikes. Motorbikes, that are the two-wheel bicycles, which are powered, how would I say? So on the comment section, kindly tell me how you call that in your country. But we have a language that's most known by Kenyans. We call them boda boda. Boda boda, that's what we call the motorbikes. It's also a means of transport. So in any case, you'd be caught up in traffic, and I've also done this so many times. I've been caught up in traffic several times, and when I'm going for appointments, I would just leave the car, park it somewhere, then I jump on a boda boda. Boda boda, there are boda bodas which are on a platform, how would I say, the platform, the Ubers. You can get boda boda. They're also on the Uber platform. We also have Bolts. They're also on the boda bodas are also on the Bolt platforms. So it's usually good to try one. Whenever you feel like you're late for appointments, you can order one. And it will help you move fast. As you can see, the ones who are in front, they're moving fast because it's small and it can penetrate through the traffic, so it moves faster. So once I've ever tried using it when I'm late for my appointments, and yes, it worked for me. Like approximately as of now, in 1 kilometer in the evenings and during rush hour, you can do a kilometer drive on a car. Would take you roughly 10 minutes to 15. But a kilometer on a boda boda during a rush hour, it will take you a very short time. Probably I would say a kilometer will take you 2 minutes, or even less than 2 minutes. So it's something commendable, especially if you are late during rush hours, to use. But again, be careful whenever you tell them. We also say that they are also reckless. And according to statistics, most accidents are caused by the boda bodas. Boda bodas are the riders in Kenyan roads. So you really need to be careful. Whenever you order a boda boda, you must really tell them how you should be driven. Or like whenever I take one, I'm usually cautious. I tell them, no, you need to take me at such a speed. Don't drive so fast. I really need to be careful when you're carrying me. So this is the situation on the Kenyan roads during rush hour. As you can see, I was speaking about the public service. That's a public service vehicle. It was just violating the traffic rules. It's overlapping. It's just overlapped. Yes, so public service, they usually try and be fast. They try and be fast to do so many trips so that they can get more money. And thank you if you are up to this point of my video. I appreciate so much. Thank you so much. I'm almost in my destination. Around, I was heading to a place, it's on the western side of the city. It's called Riverside. And until then, if you manage to reach up to this point of my video, I appreciate so much. Thank you very much, and see you in my next video.